Is Gen Z becoming too woke? About a month ago, the movie Marty Supreme released in cinemas worldwide, starring Timothée Chalamet, and because of his amazing marketing strategies, a lot of people went to go watch this movie. I, myself, Men's TV, yes, the great Men's TV, I'm also one of the people who decided to go watch this movie. I was sat there with, what did I have to eat? I don't think I even had anything to eat. Cinema food needs to fix up. I'm not paying that much for cinema food, but I digress. A harmless movie and outing experience until I got home and reached the inevitable opinions of the internet.
Me personally, I just no longer have the desire to ingest another piece of media that revolves around a man who is experiencing egomania and has an insatiable need to conquer whatever corner of the world he occupies.
A lot of people, both men and women, criticize the movie for glorifying the so-called egomania, self-centered, purpose-driven male protagonist that we have seen time and time again. But it wasn't the fact that it was cliche, but the damage that people thought it was doing to society. See, Marty Supreme follows a protagonist called Marty Mauser that goes on a quest to prove that he's the best ping pong player in the whole world. While on that mission, he doesn't just have to play good ping pong, but also deceive family and friends, steal innocent civilians' money, steal a dog, get spanked, become a womanizer, all in the same week. This movie being presented on a worldwide screen and having such popularity has made people question if this is an appropriate movie to be shown to impressionable young males, especially in a society where young males are looking for reassurance for their own masculinity through idolization.
Just got back from seeing Marty Supreme, and honestly I realized I'm not being a scumbag enough. I'm not manipulating enough to get ahead. I'm not screwing over enough people.
Questions like, why are we glorifying being a douchebag in order to gain success, become reasonable until you realize that this movie is a fictional tale. A piece of art that wasn't intended to be the symbol of masculinity, but just like any art piece, something for us as a society to digest. Cancel culture and wanting to blame a certain stimuli for such a bigger problem in society has become so normalized. It brings the question, are we becoming too woke? In the early 2000s, games like Mortal Kombat and GTA became staples in young teenagers' households. These games, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware of, featured violent themes such as guns, blood, etc. Around the same time, there was a high number of violent crimes within the USA, including school shootings. People started connecting the dots and thus blamed the video games that were in the kids' households for inciting such violent nature within them, and urged for a ban on video games completely. For me, I think this is the first bit of wokeness that we've really seen within history. I mean, to my knowledge anyways. You can enlighten me within the comments if I'm wrong. What was ignored was the fact that there was a lot of teenagers within households who had these games and never became violent, but all got ignored for the sake of blaming video games. The thing is, there wasn't even any scientific backing of these findings as well. It was just a news headline saying, video game teaches kids to kill. And voila, everyone wants to take Sub-Zero off the top shelf. When science was taken into the picture, it found that countries with high gaming rates had low violent crime rates, such as South Korea and Japan. This factor alone basically debunked the whole mantra that video games must be causing violent tendencies within people, unless Japanese people have a whole different genetic composition to Americans, which we know is not the case. But why did they try to blame video games, and why did they ignore all the other factors that may be causing the violent tendencies within people? Why do we still do this to this day? For sure, you can try and cancel dark humor, you can try and cancel music, you can try and cancel narcotics and things of that nature, but there's always an underlying meaning behind why someone is acting the way they're acting. It's to my belief that only when you find that meaning and resolve it internally is when the change will happen, not when you try and cancel something that may be catalyzing that reaction. Even if the video games were influencing people to be more violent, why is the focus on the video games and not so much the people? Well, the simple answer is violence is a very uncomfortable subject for people to come to terms with. The more convenient option was to blame the video games and not look at the violence at all. This is because video games are a more neutral topic that a lot of people are more familiar with, and because people want to feel smart and feel included in solving the problem, they will attack the topic that they think they understand everything about. This is the reason that cancel culture and being woke normally revolves around older people rather than younger people trying to cancel things. It's normally a reflection of older people not understanding something that's happening within the younger generation and trying to dilute it in a way because they think it's more dangerous than it is, which is a reflection of what we're seeing in the Marty Supreme movie. Video games didn't cause violence, and similarly enough, Marty Supreme didn't cause men to be insecure about their masculinity. These headlines just became the story that we told controlled ourselves so we wouldn't have to confront the harder truths. As we can see, nothing is changing. We attempt to cancel characters like Marty Mauser not because he is a threat to society, but because of how he makes us feel. His thirst for success and willingness to do anything to get to it is uncomfortable to many, maybe because they haven't been there before. People who have already been on this journey of success and trying to do anything to get to it resonate with this character, find it relatable. Marty Mauser isn't an unrealistic character. If anything, is the most realistic thing. People do shady shit to get to where they need to be. It's just human nature. I'm not glorifying it, but it's the reality we live in. Again, instead of trying to be woke and cancel something because you don't understand it, at least try and look at it from a different angle. The reason that this character is relatable is because his desperation for success doesn't come from greed, but lust. Marty is a working class man that has been forced into the family business while still having big dreams. While his family don't believe in him, the world doesn't give him options to uplift himself, all he really has is his own belief and making it work. Even when confronted with people that can help him and are in a much more fortunate position than him, they still reject him and don't help him at all unless it's for their benefit, which I find to be a perfect personification for the reality we live in, and I think that's an amazing thing that the director did to portray within his character. The desperation that boils from that. The story is not about a man that has just been born out the womb with the energy to be conniving, deceiving, cunning to get his way, but it is a story of a man that's been left with no options. With his belief being so bright, with his belief being so big to the point where he has shown it and displayed it to so many people, he needs to prove his vision right. It is his lifelong goal, and he's going to do anything to get there, knowing that he cannot wait for a handout, he cannot wait for people to be nice. He will make his way himself. And this isn't a new problem that the movie just came up with. This is a reality that we live in. A lot of people go to crime, a lot of people go to fraudulent activities because they feel like they have no other way, and they feel like, okay, if other people are more fortunate than me, then I can just go and take that away from them since they're not going to help me, or there isn't an opportunity in place for me to go do those things. Not saying those things are right for anyone to do. Whatever Marty Mauser did in Okay, thank you for dropping. Whatever Marty Mauser did in the movie especially isn't right to do. A lot of things he did was not right to do, and I wouldn't do it myself, but that's because I am in a fortunate position. We need to look at stuff from the other perspective, in my opinion, to really understand how drastic it is, how we can help the other person rather than just bully the whole subject, be woke and cancel someone. From this perspective, we see the movie raising awareness, and the need to cancel it from every male's eyes becomes unnecessary. Of course, not every man is going to interpret it the way that I just digested it to a lot of you, and some men are going to watch the movie and truly become a douchebag and think that's the message of the movie. I think that differentiation is important to note and show how interpretation is more about the individual rather than the stimuli. Some may still argue that this movie is very offensive, especially to how it portrays women in the movie. Women are not seen as anything more than just a helping stick to Marty Mauser within the story, and a certain creature that he can just walk over whenever he feels like, which obviously isn't good. Now, as much as I don't agree that we should be referencing to women in such ways or behaving like that to such women, I also don't think that we should cancel forms of art for portraying their story in that way. And the reason I believe this is because I think substance is very important. Yes, if we did successfully cancel these topics, stories, whatever, it would be very empowering for women, but we would also be removing the free will for people to express their stories, songs, and books in the way that they feel necessary. To explain this in a more nuanced way, I was just reading a book called The Way of the Superior Man. While reading the book, I was resonating with some of the topics, and I wasn't resonating with so much of the topics. So does that mean I'm going to cancel the book and think, you know, I hate this book and, you know, the author should stop making books? No, because that's the author's truth. That's his life. That's things that he's lived and influenced him to be in that way. If you don't agree, then just leave it, just move on and keep going. You really can't get mad at someone for thinking a different way to you. I think that is the beauty within the human race, that we all have different ways of expressing our jokes, our love, our anger, our music. Why try and cancel that? Why try and put that into such a narrow road? I don't understand it. Anyways, it's Men's TV, back on 900 Thoughts. I hope you guys found this video amusing. If you did, please like, subscribe, comment, and join the 1900 community. I'd love to see you here next week, for sure. Yeah, peace, love. Go watch Marty Supreme and Fight Club.